As we already discussed, the sutra, Heart Sutra, begins with the question of Shariputra, right? Yeah, what is the question? How should practice perfection of wisdom, right? And then, what is the Avalokiteshvara's answer? A son or daughter of noble family who wishes to practice the profound perfection of knowledge should see the five aggregates to be empty of inherent existence. That's the question. So this question is, how should a person who wishes to practice and follow the Mahayana path leading to enlightenment train his or her mind? That's the question. Right? Yeah. Okay. So the Avalokiteshvara's answer tells us that from the Buddhist point of view, men and women are equal in being able to follow spiritual practice and again spiritual realizations, because the nature of mind is the same, right? There is no difference between the Buddha nature, a woman and man, same. So that's why they are mentioned, in question and answer, a son or daughter, noble family, can practice the Mahayana, the great view, the emptiness, and the compassion. So actually, the union of the Mahayanas, the path is the view, is the union of emptiness and compassion. So union of emptiness or union of appearances are same, no different. Whatever the Mahayana practitioner, the bodhisattvas, sees the appearance, everything is changing, right? Which is suffering. That's what we call suffering. And when they see this nature and understand that nature, realize that nature, that's what we call compassion. So, that's also we call Buddha nature. So now in the Heart Sutra, talk about the five aggregates. They are, very important to know. And for instance, when we talk about the form, we need to remember that it is the first of the five aggregates, right? The five aggregates are the most sort of fundamental elements that makes sentient beings in the Buddhist belief, So therefore, we also need to know what the five aggregates. They are form, feeling, perception, right? Mental formation and consciousness. How do you call that? Aggregates or not? What do you call it then? No? Never heard, huh? It's English. Aggregate.
Five heaps.
Five heaps. What do you call it? Common. Maybe you don't have that language.
Aggregate is like cement. Cement mix.
Pongbo nga. Compounded. Everything is compound, yeah. So Pongbo nga in Tibet. Pong means collections. So 5 collections, actually. Like form, feeling, perception, formation, and consciousness. All these are collections, right? Something. Your hand is not your body. Your head is not your body. But put them together, we call body, right? It's something like collection. Huh? Okay, well, I don't know. Yeah, 5 aggregates. 5 aggregates, aggregates not so good.
But
It's to aggregate, isn't it? To put together? It would still be gone.
So when I say aggregates, you understand?
yeah.
Okay, then good. Okay, well, she'd use that.
I didn't understand until you said compound. Now I get it. And now aggregates as well.
Okay, now you get it. Compounded.
What's the difference between form and formation?
To form and formation, I'm going to explain that very detailed. Don't worry. Let me talk about first aggregates, which is form. Right? Form. Pongbo. Zugji Pongbo. Okay? In Tibet, Zugji Pongbo means form. Tsori Pongbo, feeling. Dashiji Pongbo, perception. Dashiji Pongbo, which one is formation. Namshiji Pongbo, consciousness. Very important, very common Buddhist philosophy. Always they explain and talk about these 5 aggregates. Actually, that's the fundamental, elements. The whole living beings, actually. They made it, from these, elements, 5 aggregates. So, form, you understand, right? Form, feeling, perception, mental formation, and consciousness. That's in our Heart Sutra. That's 5. And the 5 aggregates, contain everything, both inside and outside of us. So the first aggregate is form, which means our body, right? Which means our body, including our 5 senses, organs, and all these colors, shape, as well as sound, taste, and all this and this, the solid objects, form. Form also includes the 5 senses that, give the physical ability, for sight, hearing, smell, taste, touch, and everything. That's, but all this, I'm not going to teach you everything, all this. It's very detailed, we can't finish, But, so this everything is we called form. And the form elements in our body are also the earth, water, air, and heat, So, this is our body. So all these 5 elements. And there's also a connection of these 4 elements inside and outside of our body. That's the first aggregate. And the second aggregate is feeling, right? Feeling. And if we look deeply into each feeling, we identify it's coming from in our body, our perception, or our consciousness. So feelings are there are 3 types, right? So they are like pleasure feeling, painful feeling, what do you call it? Neutral feeling, 3 types of feelings. All feelings include 3. And understanding a feeling is the beginning of its transformation. One feeling lasts for a while, and then another feeling comes, right? Like that, always, always, always. And meditation is to be aware of each feeling and recognize it and look deeply into it, and we discover the true nature of that feeling. We are no longer afraid if you understand, if you recognize the nature of your feeling. And even of a painful feeling, it's not that big deal, So this practice helps us to cultivate non-fear, very important. Second aggregate. And then third aggregate is perception, right? Perception includes noticing and conceptualizing, both the perceiver and perceived. And the perceiver and the perceived are inseparable from Buddhist point of view. When the perceiver perceives wrongly, incorrectly, the things perceived are also incorrect. Makes us, unhappy, suffering. When our perceptions are correct, we feel better. But when our perceptions are not correct, they can cause us lots of sort of unpleasant feelings, So when we have to sort of look deeply also into the things, so we will not be sort of lead into suffering and difficult feeling. Very important. Perceptions are very important for our sort of well-being.
So even the feeling that might be negative, like pain,
Painful feeling, yeah.
would be okay if we perceived it.
Yeah, if you recognize the nature of painful feeling, it will go right away. And you can also transform your negative, unpleasant feeling into positive through your meditation. Yeah? Oh.
Not there yet.
Not there, but you understand that. Makes sense, right? You can transform, Transform. Okay, perception. Our perceptions are sort of, turned by, or not turned, trained by many sort of afflictions. This present, what do you call it? Pleasant and unpleasant, and all these feelings, like ignorance, hatred, and anger, jealousy, and habits, all this, many sort of afflictions. And so, but practicing mindfulness and concentration and deep looking, all this, we can discover our wrong perceptions and free ourselves from these afflictions, So all suffering comes from wrong perceptions. That's why practice the perfection of wisdom is important, Buddha said. All these wrong perceptions come from our negative emotions. So anyway, that's the third aggregate. And then fourth aggregate is mental formation, right? Mental formations. So anything made from another element is a formation. Like, like this house is a formation. Like a flower is a formation. Because, it made from seeds and, sunshines and waters and, and so many causes, we call it, a formation. Our body is also a formation.
Is everything a formation?
Yeah, two things, right? Formation, mental formations. Let me say this because let's, for instance, our body is formation, a physical, right? Physical formation. The feeling and perceptions are mental formations. So it's kind of everything's formation, but because they are so important, they have own their sort of categories. Yeah, their physical formation and mental formation. So our practice is to be aware of the like mindful or deep looking also which is the emptiness, the perfection of wisdom, and in order to see their true nature. So that's why I think practice emptiness also very good, because then you can see the nature of physical or mental formations through your practice. Which one is that? This is the fourth, right? And then fifth is consciousness. Yes, fifth aggregate is consciousness. We have six consciousness. The eye, the ear, the nose, the tongue, the body, and mental consciousness. So these five sense consciousness are necessarily non-conceptual. But the mental consciousness, conceptual. So the aggregate of consciousness is like a dream. It is sort of mistakenly imagined. Therefore, the five aggregates are not a self, not a person. Five aggregates are naturally empty of I and mine. Okay? Not only give aggregates are empty, but all phenomena are observed to be like a dream, like a rainbow. Like a rainbow. Many things that sort of exist are beautiful, right? But when you try to chase it, you can never find it, because it's not really there. Can you touch a rainbow? Why not? Yeah, we can't get it. I don't know why, but I think because it's not there. Even though we see there, rainbow is there. You go there, the rainbows go back further and further. We never reach it. It's not there. Everything like that, everything is like that. It's like a dream. It's like a rainbow. Everything appears beautifully, right? And we think that exists, and then we attach it to. But when you try to sort of investigate and find out, you can never find it, because it's not really there. So that's very briefly, when we say five aggregates, Avalokiteshvaraya want us to understand the nature of five aggregates. And then the next is the most important. The Heart Sutra, it says, form is emptiness. Emptiness is form. Emptiness is not other than form. Form is not other than emptiness. So we call these four statements. This statement is the most famous, and most difficult part of the text. So the form, the five aggregates, the form is the mentioned first, right? Body, no, form, which one is that? Yeah, form, feeling. So form is the first aggregates because, it is the most easily sort of, recognizable of the five aggregates. And because it's the only physical aggregate, it supports the other four: feeling, perception, mental formation, consciousness. So that's why this the form is mentioned first, and so now here we talk about form is emptiness. The form is like what do you call it? Like a vessel, and the other four aggregates are like water in the vessel. So in the same way, when it is understood that form is empty, then it is easy to understand that the other four aggregates are also empty. So that's why I think, therefore, the Heart Sutra focus first on form. And in addition, every phenomena and everything around us has two truths, right? Conventional or relative truth and ultimate truth, which means, for instance, this body is we called form, but it is also emptiness. It is also emptiness. So it is kind of, it has two truths. And what is the relationship between these two things? They are like, the two truths I told you. This body is relative and ultimate. It's like, fire and heat. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like white T-shirt and its color. For instance, fire and heat are different, right? But they are sort of one entity. And that you cannot have the one without another. Understand? Similarly, the emptiness of an object and the object itself on one sort of entity. You can't have one without the other. Yeah.
Are you saying that the nature of fire is heat, the nature of fire is hot? So you can't separate the nature?
Yeah, the two truths. So I'm talking about the relationship between two truths. Relative truth, ultimate truth, like fire and its heat. Do you understand?
I think so.
Fire and heat. One entity. It's like yellow flower and the yellow color. I make you confused now? Let's not go there then, okay? So, emptiness is, we said, emptiness no other than form. You have to understand that. Emptiness no other than form. Therefore, form is emptiness. Emptiness is, emptiness is ground everything. Everything. According to Buddhism. Everything is possible. We believe that. Everything is possible because emptiness. That's the reason. Okay? If you say everything is possible, we know that, right? Everything is possible. You can fly one day. It's possible. Why? Because emptiness. And if this phenomena were, exist in itself, then it would not depend upon cause and conditions. You understand that? It would mean that result could arise without cause, which is impossible. Which is impossible. So if, for instance, if we are not emptiness, we cannot be here. We cannot talk. Okay? We cannot think. We cannot eat. We can eat because of emptiness. Okay? And without emptiness, nothing is possible. Really. If you think it's possible, give me a reason, If something is not emptiness, but it's possible, can you see that kind of things? Something is not emptiness. And it's possible. No. Everything is emptiness. That's why everything is possible. So, if you understand this means form is emptiness, emptiness is also form. If you understand this is the true meaning of emptiness. This is Buddha wants us to understand, this point. This is the meaning of the perfection of wisdom. If you don't understand, then there is no what do you call it? You can't meditate on perfection of wisdom. Everything is emptiness. These five aggregates are also we call interdependent, right? You understand that? When you have a sort of painful feeling, look into your body, your perception, your mental formation, and your consciousness to see what has created this feeling. If you have a sort of, for instance, headache, and your painful feeling comes from the first aggregate, right? Painful feeling your head is also body form, right? Your painful feeling comes from the first, the aggregate, because the form. And painful feeling can also come from mental formation or from perception. So each these aggregates, contains all the other aggregates. So looking into your feeling, you can discover everything. The root of our suffering is not aggregates, but our grasping. The the best antidote of our grasping is emptiness. That's why Avalokiteshvara say that, the son or daughter need to understand the five aggregates be empty. Meditate on that. We think something wrong with our five aggregates, but it's not our grasping. That's the problem. Buddha didn't say that the five aggregates are suffering. He never said that. It is not five aggregates that make us suffer, but the way we related to them, which is the grasping, which is the attachment. And a Buddha is someone who lives in a peace, joy, and freedom, and no attachment to anything. And when Avalokiteshvara looked deeply into the reality of the five aggregates, he saw the emptiness of self. And he was sort of liberated from the suffering because of he saw the emptiness. There is no self, no grasping, no attachment. That's why he liberated from suffering. If we sort of contemplate the five aggregates in the same way the Avalokiteshvara did, we will also be liberated from suffering. Yeah.
So you're saying no self, no suffering.
No self, no suffering. Exactly. The self, I, mine. First we create I, right? Then we have I, and then we have mine, right? First you think I exist, then you think the things belong to you. You said mine, or that's mine. This cup is mine. It's not yours, right? Because we attached to I and mine. Then we have the anger, attachment, all come from that. If you don't mind, if you're not afraid, you should investigate. Where is where you say, where is I? Investigate. You can't find it, for sure. Never ever exist I. But we just, this is imagination. Where is I? Where is I? Understand? I is emptiness. Yeah? But we maybe you understand that there's no exist I. But we don't realize it, right? We don't recognize it. Understand, and the Buddhist, Tibetan language, and also Buddhist point of view, understanding and realized are totally different. We understand there's no exist I, but we still attached, right, to it. It's amazing. This is how we wander in samsara.
So when I was a child, I used to look in a mirror and try to figure out who that I was that was looking back at me. And I would stare at that for long periods of time trying to figure it out. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, there are many ways you can investigate. I is your head, your eye, your body, your hands, your eye. Mm-hmm. You have so many eyes or one eye.
Why am I here?
Why you are here? Because emptiness.
The I that is here.
That's you are here. That's not I.
Okay, well the I that is not here then.
No, I is never exist. I is not there.
The I that is not existing but is not here, basically is the potential that can do whatever it wants to do.
Now you mixed the two truths, I think. Let's see this, when you investigate, this is how we investigate. I. Once you understand the I, then easy to understand the mind, right? So first, the Chantakirth, Madhyamaka, he first talked about how to investigate, how to find out the I. So he said, first, let's think about only your head, okay? Only your head. This part. Then we have eye, nose, ears, all these things, right? So, where is your eye?
I understand that none of those things are my I.
Oh, that's good. Then you understand that, then there's no eye.
Correct, there is no I.
Okay, good. Sometimes people, when we talk about this, people really, really get sort of panic, and it's not good. I don't know you are.
But what is the purpose of the...
Purpose is you have to understand the nature of the first aggregates. We call this self, a person, right? The selflessness, true selflessness. The first a person. First, you have to think about the I, and then you need to investigate your body. So you need to go really, really deeper and deeper, deeper, and eventually you get nothing, but you get emptiness.
So why do we project an eye, and why do we project a body, and why do we project all other
That's the how if we don't project that, nothing work.
Could you say that again?
Relatively very important. I, you, otherwise how we do things. It's very confused, right?
Is that a form of attachment?
Yes, it is. Okay, let's go no further. So form is emptiness now. Next we find that form is emptiness and emptiness is form. So this means that form is not different from emptiness. And emptiness is not different from form. And Avalokiteshvara's answer to Shariputra, he says that all phenomena are empty. Right? But empty of what? Empty means empty of something, right? Empty of something. Avalokiteshvara says 5 aggregates are empty, and he says that 5 aggregates empty. Empty of what? If we ask him, empty of what? He will say they are empty of a separated self. So to realize the selflessness of persons and other phenomena, it is necessary to examine their parts and search of a self. That means none of these 5 aggregates can exist by themselves alone. In our bodies, we have, so many parts, and like, head and, heart and stomach and all this. None of this can exist independently. They can sort of only coexist with the others. So he discovered that none of them can be, by itself alone. Relatively, also this everything is interdependent origination. If our body is not emptiness, that means it exists, right? Emptiness, sometimes, you can understand this way. Emptiness and impermanence are very similar. If our body is not emptiness, our body is permanent. If our body is permanent, which means there's no cause and conditions, which means not dependent, interdependent. So then, doesn't work. If something is not, everything is working, right? Because impermanent. If something is permanent, doesn't work at all. Do you understand? This permanent means never ever change. So my hand like this, if I'm a little bit moving, if I move my fingers, because impermanence. If this permanent, I can't move my finger. Always there. It doesn't work everything like that. Either never, never, ever change, right? Permanent means never, ever change. This kind of permanence we're talking. If my finger is not emptiness, that means permanent. That permanent means never move, never change. So if I want to do this, if I can't change, then it doesn't work, right? So everything like that, all phenomena, our body, if not emptiness, not impermanence, never work. That's why Buddhist point of view, everything is possible, work very well, because of the impermanence, because of emptiness. Understand that?
We would never get old. We would never.
Exactly. We'll never get old. We can't born, actually. We can't die if something is not impermanence, something is not emptiness, never change.
So nothing can exist without changing. Nothing can exist.
Yes, exactly. Nothing can exist without changing. Everything is impermanence. That's why we sin. Everything is impermanence, which means everything is emptiness. Okay. So, understand emptiness is so important. All the phenomena are emptiness, empty. And that's why the Heart Sutra, the main point is two selflessness, a person and a phenomena. So both no exist itself, which means everything depends on cause and conditions. You know that, right? Everything is cause and conditions. Without cause and condition, nothing happen. So if something depends on cause and conditions, that means impermanence. Right? Cause and conditions, you need to change that things. Change season, change all these conditions, get together, then it's something possible. Because everything it's not impermanence, then cause and condition, nothing work. So that's why everything depends on origination. Everything depends on cause and conditions. Without cause condition, nothing. These are same things. Everything is emptiness, everything is impermanent, everything is cause and condition. Same thing, actually. So everything relatively depends on cause and conditions, right? And then you investigate more, you will see emptiness. That's the ultimate level. So, form is empty. Emptiness of form. So this is the true meaning of emptiness. You understand that? True meaning of emptiness. That's how can explain about emptiness. This is, form is emptiness. Emptiness is also form. In the same way, of course, the feeling, the perception, same way, the feeling is emptiness. Emptiness is feeling. Emptiness is not other than feeling. Feeling is not other than emptiness. So in the same way, all phenomena are like that. Understand? Any question?
So,
Yep.
would you say that the word impermanence and emptiness are synonymous, they're the same?
Almost. Impermanence is relatively impermanence. But that relative impermanence is also emptiness. Two truths. You are emptiness. Because when I investigate you, detail, I can't find you. But relatively, without investigate, Chantakurt says, he's in middle way, Madhyamaka. Relatively, you cannot investigate. You can't. Otherwise, you will lose everything. You just to believe. You just to believe everything is working, everything is like this. Once you investigate, then you are not on relative level. You goes more deeper, ultimate. That's why when I investigate you, I can't find you. I will find emptiness. But when I not investigate you, okay, you have a beer, you have, you are there. You are talking with me like that.
If everything is in the mind, is emptiness in the mind too?
Everything is mind, which means... I'm sorry, what was your question?
If everything is mind,
Yeah?
is emptiness mind too?
No, mind is emptiness.
Mind.
Emptiness is mind is emptiness. So mind is the fifth aggregate, the consciousness, the mind, right? So when you investigate, you can't find mind. So it's actually everything goes beyond. That's what we call enlightenment. One time I was, 3-4 years ago, I taught Madhyamaka. My root teacher has the guide, what do you call it? The stages of meditation on middle way. He has a small commentary. And I talked about that with my translator. I didn't speak English at all. And for me, very easy, to teach on my language. And he translated for me. And some people really get afraid. We are talking about the selflessness and selflessness of phenomena. Some people really get very sort of uncomfortable. Of course, it makes sense. They're not practiced. They're not there yet. They're not ready to listen to that teaching. That's why Buddha said, don't teach this if the students are ready. If the student not ready. That's why this Heart Sutra, the one object is the perfect audience. Remember? Perfect audience means the monks, the bodhisattvas, ready to listen this teaching and practice. So if you think something is not really sort of makes sense and kind of uncomfortable, which means you are not there yet. I'm telling you, honestly, you're not there yet. Otherwise, the Hinayanas practitioners always, they taught, meditate and talk about the selflessness, the phenomena. They get afraid. That's why we call it lesser vehicle. They're not ready to practice on that. Mahayanas always ready. And then when we talk about that, all this impermanence and emptiness, they make sense and understand, which means they're ready. Which means they have a good foundation. A good foundation means we have to practice first, right? Practice first. And once you understand, you have a good foundation, then emptiness is very easy. You can understand everything's emptiness and meditate on that. When we do that, when I go to retreat, and sometimes we always 2 weeks, 3 weeks, always investigate where I am, where's my body, and then I get nothing, and then I get emptiness, and then I meditate on that. It's very nice. Meditate on that, and then of course again, oh, my body hurts. Oh, I need to move. And then where is the painful feeling? Where? And investigate very detail, right? And then got emptiness, and then meditate on that. That's how they know that. That's familiarize, right? You meditate on over and over millions of times emptiness like that. Investigate, and then once you got emptiness, meditate on that. Investigate, meditate many times. Eventually, you only see the emptiness. Then you easily let go the grasping, the attachment, right? The ladies make up every day, like things. You don't have to do that once you understand emptiness. That's joking. Well, that's also attachment, right? You think? Yeah, I think that's attachment. Men's too. It's not only a woman, but we have this attachment, and then we have sort of we get bald, and get white hair, and then you put something, change, color. It's impermanence. You can't change, right? But you can, when you get a white hair, you black or something like that. All this actually attachment, attachment you can't let go. But it's actually, I like the nature, Don't change anything, just what you are, just the nature is the best. When you get old, everything's changed. When you're young, everything's good. So whatever. It's everything is nature, right? Nature you can't change. All right, questions? No questions? I'm not going to let you practice on selflessness. I'm not sure you're ready there or not, so we'll not do that. But that's meditation. Meditate the 3 stages of meditation, right? The focus on the breath. That's nice. You think that's helpful? Yeah? Good. So you should do that many times. It's not enough like 20 minutes, right? But we need to, do this many times, and eventually our minds relax and stable. Don't worry about the selflessness, and don't worry about, there are many ways you can let go, You can let go your attachment, your ignorance, your anger, many ways, not only through investigate selflessness. So you just, when you get angry, you need to investigate. You need to investigate where it comes from. Why am I get angry? You investigate and relax more your mind. your anger is go away, That's another antidote. There's so many ways you can let go our. So all these methods are actually let go our afflictions. The problem only we have these negative thoughts, attachment, anger, grasping, ignorance. That's the problem. That's the root of the samsara. We are wandering in samsara because of this. So you, me, everybody try to diminish our negative emotions, right? Are you agree with me? Yeah. You think this is the problem? Attachment is the problem? Yeah? Are you sure? Okay. Anger is the problem? Anger? Jealous is the problem? Okay. So we don't want that problem, do we? No, but we still have. Why? Why we have attachment, ignorance, anger, jealous? Even though we understand we don't want this, we understand these are the problem, but still we have. Why?
Because we make it real.
Hmm?
We make it real.
We make it real. Why we make it real?
Because we still think there's an I.
Yeah.
There's I, yes, the grasping. Grasping. So, and then another thing is we still have this. We're lazy. We're not meditate. Yeah, we're very lazy. People say, I don't have time. But actually, we have time, but the laziness. So these are the problems are diminish this. In order to diminish these problems, only through meditation can do anything. Temporarily, maybe you can eat some, like drugs or something, but that's not the best antidote. The best way is meditate. It's free, right? Your meditation is free and best antidote and gives you peace of mind, happiness. Why we don't meditate? Why? We have to think that, We need to, the value of the meditation, the benefit of meditation, then it's very good, This is not, people think, oh, this is something like, spiritual things. But this is part of our life. Yeah, yes, exactly. Yeah.
So I have a question. Rinpoche says that if you investigate the root of mind, then you know everything. If you don't investigate the root of mind, you may know everything, but you know nothing at all. He said you just don't understand anything. So how does investigating the root of mind, if mind is one of the five aggregates, how does the mind arise? Does it arise as attachment? Does it arise as attachment to self? Is that what keeps the mind arising over and over again?
Yeah, relatively the cause and conditions. The mind arises because of its cause and conditions.
What karma?
Hmm?
Karma.
Karma is not necessarily bad.
Yes, right. But you can have, your mind sort of rides along karma. It's part of the volition of where those thoughts and things come from, correct?
Yeah, mind is, arises because of everything appears, object, subject. Buddhist point of view, the object-subject is inseparable. That's why everything is the mind. The house is your mind. House doesn't exist. That's why the great meditators, the masters, went through the house. If the house exists, nobody can go through. You hear many the Tibetan masters when they put the jail and locked the door and they went outside. You know that, right? That's really happened. Actually, even my root teacher, the Anzum Drupal, when they put in jail and he, went outside. He understood that really he's Dzogchen master. And he understood the house, the jail doesn't exist, so doesn't matter they put in here jail or not, just that he is always happy and can get out, It's everything's mine, it's nothing exists. We think we grasp the house, and then we think this exists, then we are stuck there. We can't go through. That's good. You want to meditate or take a break? Meditate? 3 minutes, okay then. Sometimes if you are Buddhist, when you meditate like this, very nice, correct your motivation and think to yourself, I will meditate and so that I will be able to free all sentient beings from suffering and bring them to sort of happiness. So that's kind of correct your motivation. And once you correct that kind of your motivation, and then you should sort of, recite the 7-line supplication 3 times and with visualization, and which is Pammasambhava, and feeling a deep sort of sense of devotion to him, and then meditate on nature mind. It's really helpful. It's really helpful. If you're Buddhist. If you're not a Buddhist, whoever you believe, right? Whoever you believe and who inspired the most you visualize that in front of you, and then sort of devotion is very important all the time. Doesn't matter who you are. You're Buddhist or you're Christian or whatever, devotion is very important. So, in order to develop your devotion, you have to holy person visualize in front of you, and you kind of ask, and help, and sort of give, get the blessings from the holy person. It's really helpful sometimes. Sometimes you don't need just to relax and focus on your breath. So now we're again focus on your breath 3 times, the three stages, okay, and meditate on 3 minutes. It's the same. This is same also same as the last section we did, right? So I don't need to explain again. So just to relax and meditate on 3 minutes.